Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers.
A whirlwind of inputs.
A whirlwind of inputs.
It will take your palate through a whirlwind of inputs. I've never
So it's not that it has inputs in it. It's going to take my palate through inputs.
a whirlwind of inputs. Yeah.
Whirlwind of them. What is going to take us through a whirlwind of inputs?
The whirlwind La Gloria Cubana.
La Gloria Cubana. That's our tobacco today. Okay.
Tobacco of the day. Kind of an old, cool looking old like label.
Yeah, it's like an old Oriental kind of lady.
Yeah. So this is actually made. This is a brand that it's like cigars and whatnot. But this is in English, and it's made by STG, Lane Limited. So, but this one's from 21, so it's got a little bit of age on it. And I don't remember when I bought these. I saw them at one point, and I bought like a couple tins, and they've just been sitting in the cellar. So I've never tried it.
Okay. So never tried and never opened.
Never opened, never tried. And it's just cool. Like, it's kind of got that old school vibe thing going. And I don't know, like, it's just in English. I don't really know if there's any sort of cigar thing about it, but they definitely have cigars, this brand. So with that label on it.
Well, I mean, it's Cubana, right?
Cubana.
Yeah,
like
so you
Gloria
gotta have
Cubana.
cigars.
I think what it is the company... This company like maybe had STG make it for them, if that makes sense. Because I don't think STG owns this company or anything like that, but they definitely have cigars. So
here's one of these if you need it. Getting
I was
under
just
there.
Gonna like
try to pop it with your fingers.
Usually I can do it with my bare hands, but yeah, I'll use
manly
it.
man.
Yeah, Hercules. Do you remember that?
Well, as you're trying to open that, we're doing something unique and
We
different.
Are. It is December.
It is.
So we're gonna kind of go through some different spirits.
We are different spirit, and this was brought up by Chris in the old Ebenezer Scrooge,
Ebenezer Scrooge,
right?
Yes,
The spirits, right?
From Charles Dickens. A Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. Yep.
Oh, look, see, it's got some browning to it already.
Ooh, nice.
So it's starting to get some age to it. For
Do we know roughly how old this was?
said 21, so not that old, unless that label's maybe that's not the label. I don't know. FA 21. I don't know if that's actually. I don't know. It's been at least. Man, that's aromatic. And I haven't had a English in a minute.
I was gonna say you've kind of been off the English for a little bit.
English, but dude, maybe it's because I haven't had it in a while. But isn't that strong? I've even like opened it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's got a cover on it still, right?
Yeah, but just smell it through the cover.
Oh my!
It's like nightcap, but stronger. I mean, they make this. They make nightcap,
Man,
so I thought maybe it'd be
that's
similar,
that's like a campfire, my friend.
Yeah.
That's like Lefroy. That's like Lagavulin.
That's creosote.
Yeah. Oh man.
So our spirit of Christmas past is a old spirit.
It is with a twist.
We are the whiskey chasers,
Right.
So
we had to kind of stick in line with that idea.
exactly. So we are going with the gin today for our Christmas past.
A traditional London dry
It is
gin.
a London dry gin, and we'll talk about what that means. But it is finished in rye barrels.
Which is unique.
And so normally there are barrel finished gins out there, but rye I think is a little bit special.
That's the unique part. I haven't seen anyone do rye barrel for the
Unique
finish.
And tantalizing.
It imparts,
Tantalizing.
it imparts a whole different flavor. Watershed has their bourbon barrel gin, but it's nothing like
No,
this.
and it's in their bourbon barrels.
Right, exactly.
And so it's not rye.
Most of them do bourbon barrels because it adds a bit of sweetness, and they stick with the dry. They stick with that traditional feel, which is part of the Christmas past.
Old school. This we're talking about gin. We're talking about the drink that when people talked about drinking, this was like it. Like there wasn't really any other option.
This started it all.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen what this name of this bottle is?
Bespoke.
Yeah, which is also like kind of old school kind of feel. Like it's not really so. It's coming back, like slowly coming back. Of guys being like bespoke is like a style, I guess. Yeah. But like it was kind of that old guy formal, like I think of like
gentlemanly, study,
pretentious. Nowadays, that's all I think of.
Right, it's pretentious.
So pretentious, but the word is cool and the meaning makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And on this bottle, it works because it's got the green. It's got like that. What do you call it? It's not chevron, but what is that? It's some sort of pattern.
Oh,
I
the
don't know. It's
pattern.
cool. Yeah, the pattern.
Is that the fishbone or the?
I don't know what you call it.
No.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's rippled.
Rippled. Yeah.
Sure.
It's a rippled effect.
Yeah, and and we like our gins. Me and Nick really like.
I
our
like it
gins.
too. Yeah, I'm with you on the gin.
And you guys haven't had this bottle before.
And you have.
And I had. This is like my third bottle of this.
But I've had a lot of gins. I've never had anything, and I've had a lot of finished gins, but I've never had anything with rye. I might take just a tip.
I was gonna say we might finish this up. I might have to get a new bottle for the picture. Oh, nuts!
Oh boy. Oh boy! And this tobacco, I think, is going to pair just fine with the gin. I was thinking, add a little, because gin, for as great as it is kind of it's a lighter thing.
It's subtle. Yeah, it's light.
And I thought maybe something with a little bit more oomph would be a good kind of like. That's why gin does so well in a cocktail, right?
Right. It is. It
Flavor-wise.
adds to, but it doesn't take over anything. Whereas if you're talking about whiskey cocktails, the whiskey is important. It's a key factor. Whereas the gin cocktail, the additives is kind of where it shines, and this plays well with others.
Gin is one you don't shake because you don't want to bruise it. So what? I just thought of finishing in a barrel. Are they worried about bruising the gin if they move the barrel around?
I don't think so, because you can still stir gin.
Right.
And
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
you're not really attacking it in the
Right.
barrel.
Yeah. If you think about what happens on the inside of a cocktail shaker, that is violent, right? I mean, think about being in one of those things. You're throwing it's like a metal cylinder. You're throwing ice in there, and then you're throwing a spirit in there, and you are have you ever seen some people shake those things? Like, I almost want to be like, take it easy just a little bit. Like, people really shake the crud out of those things.
Oh, they really dig deep, and they're like
all their
That's
rage,
all their anger goes into that shaker.
Yeah, anytime that they're like, okay,
childhood trauma is what they dig for.
I've seen people. I'm like, that doesn't even look like it. I would pull my shoulder doing it that hard, guy. And even the way they slam the lid on and slam it off, it's like it's not a gentle process.
It's not.
So
No.
you gotta that's bruising it.
Bruising a lot of things.
Bruising a lot of things.
Yeah.
So for gin, since we're a whiskey podcast, so I wanted to go a little bit of detail on what gin is, so that we can figure out how they relate. And so gin is, like I said, that's your early spirit. It started as Genever,
Which is disgusting.
Way back when. Yeah, Genever is the first version of gin, and it's
Not Genevieve.
not Genevieve,
Or Guinevere.
not or Guinevere, Genever.
Genevieve.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was made with malt wine, not mulled wine, malt wine. So it's kind of
like Mad Dog 2020.
like Mad Dog 2020. It's not great. There's a few companies that still make it. Like, you can buy it, but it's not recommended. It's pretty distinct flavor to it.
Echo Spirits here in Columbus.
You said that twice.
Echo.
Echo.
He does that every time he says that.
Really?
Yeah, have you never noticed that?
Nope.
You always say it. You echo yourself.
Huh. Okay. So Echo makes, or used to make, this.
I think they still do. Mm-hmm.
It is potent.
Yeah.
This is Genever.
So Genever,
Based on the malt wine.
right? And even back in the day, Genever, the malt wine distilled, was not very good, and they didn't like it, which is why they started adding juniper to it. And so the juniper was your flavor. That was what you were doing to cover up everything else. So, like, Genever does have juniper in it, but that's why they added the juniper to it. Which juniper is that flavor in gin that gives it that Christmas tree feel, the pine sol smell and all that. That's the juniper. So way back when, that was the original. Then they switched it and they started using just natural grain spirit and adding juniper to it, which is why gin is flavored vodka.
It is.
That's a stance.
It really is.
That's a stance. I don't know if I want to agree with that.
I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's vodka that's been flavored.
but naturally and done well. And
Yeah,
they
for sure.
steep. I mean, they'll steep gin and stuff.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
basically like a liquor tea.
Yeah. So when we get to London Dry, which is what this is, that's when we start getting into some really cool vapor infusions and stuff because they vapor infuse these flavors into this.
I mean, they do way cooler stuff with gin than they do with any sort of. But you're right; it all comes from a neutral
it
grain.
all comes from
So
a neutral grain spirit. Yeah.
You can't get on too high of a horse when you're talking about gin, I guess.
And so, the next was Old Tom. Old Tom gin came next, and that was your first natural grain spirit gin.
We've had Old Tom.
I don't know that I have.
Yep, it's still around. Like
It's
can
still
buy
around,
It.
yeah.
You can get
We
it.
had a bottle of it one time.
Oh,
Yeah, me and you did. It's very cheap looking nowadays, I think.
Yeah. I think it's usually a bottom shelf deal.
Yeah, way bottom shelf.
There's various stories on how it gets his name. Sometimes it's like a person named Tom and all that. But the coolest one I heard, and it's almost for sure not true, but it's just really fun, is there was some gin laws that came into effect with taxes and all of that, and so you didn't want to buy it legally because you'd have to pay all these taxes and stuff. So they put up these little Tom Cat statues with a hose on it, and you'd pay your quarter or whatever into the statue, and then a little slug will come out, and you'd get your little gin fix.
This might not be a false story.
Do you think that's where Tom and Jerry, like Tom from Tom and Jerry,
it's
comes
a
from?
Tomcat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Neely Family Distillery, they got their start doing moonshine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they did something similar, but they would shove it in stumps. And so they'd have one stump to put money in and another stump to go walk and grab your
bottle or whatever.
your bottle from. But they'd stash it in there. So the idea of like stashing that in a Tomcat, that idea.
Little Tomcat statue. Yeah.
I
It's
would
a
put
fun
it
little
past them.
story.
It's like a cookie jar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so both of those happen, and then you get to London Dry Gin, and that's where we really are now. That's, if you're buying any of the name brand gins, all of your Bombay Sapphire, your Tanqueray, your Beefeaters, those are all London Dries. But what London Dry did different is, one, that's the start of the column still. Column still showed up, which is how they were able to get the distillation so strong. You can get it up in proof that you want, because these are an aged spirits. So you have to
you can get it as high as you want it.
Get it all the way up. So they'd bring it all the way up to like 95% or whatever. So straight ethanol. And then they'd switch it to a pot still, but the pot still has like an onion top where they'd put the gin bag, and it was this bag full of all of the botanicals and stuff. So then the vapor comes up through the pot still, hits that, and then it's collected at the end. So that's your vapor infusion of all these flavors. And then after that, they cut it and sell it.
Now, for it to be, does it have to be made in London?
It does not. Nope. Location no longer matters.
It's just the
that's
style.
Just what it was.
It's
style
just,
of.
yeah, that's the style. That's who came up with it.
Where does the dry? I've always wondered, where does the dry aspect come from?
So that's the thing. I don't know why they initially called it London Dry Gin, but I do know that early on, when somebody said they wanted a dry martini, they didn't mean they wanted no vermouth in it. They meant they wanted a London Dry Gin in their martini. And then since then, it's become, well, that is the gin. Right. That's the only gin you're going to get anyway. But now it's distinction on how much vermouth to put in it.
Right, because martini should be made with gin.
Yes.
Vodka martini
correct.
is something that came out way later and Bond made popular, but a true martini is made with gin.
I think you were on the podcast episode with Ryan when we talked about this. Do you guys remember talking about prohibition in England with Ryan?
I don't think so.
Not really.
So this is probably like 2 years ago now that we talked about this.
I don't remember that then.
But gin was the Kickstarter for their prohibition over there. Like there was an issue with people just downing
Overdoing
gin.
it. Yeah.
Which kind of cracks me up because I think of London Dry Gin and the dry aspect. I think of like a dry county. I'm like, did they call it dry gin as like it's not alcoholic?
It's just an alcohol-free gin.
Like we can get away with it because it's dry gin. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's just what they had over there. It's just at that time, whatever alcohol was your go-to is what they tacked. But
which is fascinating to me that it starts out that way over there. So we talk about old school, old person, Christmas past, I guess you could say. So starting over there, gin caused their prohibition. Now when did gin start coming over to America? Because I don't feel like it was a very popular American-made thing.
I think it always was a thing over here.
It's been a thing over here all the time. We didn't make it here until later, I think.
Actually, Irish people were even making it. Like, I think if you watch even like the Peaky Blinders, and they were like Romanian or whatever, but they were from England, and I think they were somewhere in England, but they were making it and then shipping it to America or something like that. They were selling it to America. So Americans were getting shipments of this stuff from Ireland and England and different parts of Europe or whatever. I don't know if we were making it in America, but we were drinking it in America. And the fact that we probably weren't making it, which is why like at some point we quit drinking it, right? Because it's like Scotch is one thing, but like I think there was a time where we just kind of drank what we could get. And that's when all that kind of fancy stuff went out the window. Yeah. But
was Genever popular in like the 70s? Like gin and vodka, I think like clear spirits.
Clear spirits were popular. Yeah. But like that's why like a gin martini was the thing. And it wasn't a vodka martini. Vodka really didn't gain popularity till a little bit later. Mainly when we started adding flavors.
I want to say like the 80s, probably vodka started kind of coming up. And then adding it to like, what was it, Zima and stuff like that? Was there vodka in that? Or I don't know. But started adding to like little
Emphysema?
Wine cooler type deal.
Right, yeah.
You don't remember Zima?
No. What is
you
Zima?
Remember Zima?
I don't think so.
They used to have it. Somebody listening is going to be like, "Oh yeah, Zima." Yeah, I don't know if they make it anymore. It was a clear bottle with a clear liquid in it. It was like Smirnoff Ice without all the flavoring. You can imagine.
So just a hard seltzer?
It was like a hard seltzer. Yeah,
like
that's
a
basically
malted,
what it was.
Yeah,
it was
beverage?
the original, like I think it was malt, but it was the original, like not because I think their
it's
marketing
the original White
was
Claw.
It's not too sweet, but it's sweet but not too sweet. It was white, unflavored White Claw. It had its own flavor to it. I definitely had some like underage. You know what I mean? Because I don't even know when they quit making that stuff. But Zima, yeah, there's commercials and stuff for it. It was a big deal, like 80s, 90s, probably early 2000s is probably when it died out. Something like that. So I was probably like way underage. I don't know.
That sounds like you might have been.
That sounds like it could have been. I just remember seeing those things all the time. Yeah, it was. I think that was a new. I don't know if it was neutral grain or if it was vodka based or I don't know, but it was definitely like kind of that idea. When people started moving to that kind of way of doing things. In the 80s and 90s, I guess, is probably when it got a little bit more popular.
Although I feel like gin did have a little bit of a resurgence when all these craft distilleries started showing up.
Because they could make it quick.
They needed to make something quick. So I think a lot of American gins have since showed up. We also had Plymouth gin that showed up during after London Dry. And that's basically the same thing as London Dry, but it's made just with a pot still. And there's a lot more roots in the gin infusion. So there's less citrus. So it's a little bit more earthy.
More earthy, less citrusy. Because you can have, all the pine, there's pine, and then there's more floral, botanical, or even the gunpowder tea type stuff.
Before you even jump to American gin, you got stuff in Europe, over there, Ireland has their gunpowder gin. There's Austrian gin.
Yep. There's another, and I didn't never heard of this one before, but when I was doing my research, I found pink gin. And pink gin was used by the Navy. And so it's just regular gin, but it's mixed with angostura bitters. And the reason for that is it helped fight seasickness and some scurvy and stuff.
Sense, a digestive. Actually, Navy, that was a big thing in the Navy back then.
They had Navy strength gin.
Pirates, you think rum, but Navy, you think gin. You know what I mean? That's what they kind of...
Do you? Is that kind of your thought process? I don't think gin for Navy.
All the books that I've read and stuff, with sailors, and I don't mean pirate sailors, but sailors and even naval sailors and things like that. I think there's a lot of talk about gin bottles here and gin bottles there. Less rum. That's more pirate type stuff. But for whatever reason, people on board ships would drink... At least in the stories, it was always gin this and gin that. But again, because it's an old world spirit, maybe,
Old world spirit, but also has a lot of roots involved. So maybe that helped with calming the stomach kind of thing. It's got a lot of earthy botanical plants involved with the steeping that might help calm some of the stomach.
But coming back to this, what's interesting after talking about what you were saying, Steve, with the the different ways that gin has gone to. In fact, that these small distilleries are making gin because it's quick and easy and whatever. An interesting way of doing it is what we're trying here. Like you're taking something that is quick to make, but then you're finishing it in a product we all like that takes a while, right? Rye or bourbon or whatever it is. So when they started making these gins finished in these whiskey barrels, whoever came up with that idea, that is a really fantastic idea because it just kind of leaches on. Just enough flavor of the whiskey leaches onto this gin in a way that the botanicals leach onto it. And it comes out like, because I can really taste the rye in this.
For sure, yeah. And with this company, with Rabbit Hole, they're using their rye. So it's their Boxer Grail.
Is it Boxer Girl or Boxer Grail?
Boxer Grail.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an extra R in there. It throws you
Every time
off.
I see it, I just a quick glance. I'm like, oh, it's Boxer Girl. I'm like, what's a Boxer Girl?
Nope, Boxer Grail.
That makes a bit more sense.
So it's their rye, but they're importing the gin, and so they don't make their own gin for that, which is interesting.
It's like the opposite.
Yeah, they're reversing it a little bit. They're letting the pros do the gin, and they're using their barrels,
Which is super fascinating to me. But do they make any of their own stuff to begin with, or do they source a lot?
I think they source a lot of it. I don't know if they make it or not now, but they definitely originally started as sourcers.
Which made sense to me when they first started to source everything, including their gin. Like, if you're not going to do anything, source it all and be
Do
done.
it all.
But
Yeah, exactly.
Don't skip out and be like, oh, we'll make our own vodka and our gin, but the harder stuff we're not going to touch.
Right, exactly.
Like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. And so I didn't do a ton of research into Rabbit Hole because I figured, I think we'll do another bottle on these guys.
So.
But just as a real basic run on it, the owner, it started in 2012. The owner is from Tehran. So yeah, he came here when he was 14 years
Where's
old.
that at?
Tehran, I think it's in
Arizona? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. The look on Steve's face.
Yeah, Tehran, Arizona.
Tehran. We got that festival down there. Them armadillos.
Somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah, Middle East, right?
But yeah, he came over here when he was 14 in like 2003, I think. And he was 14 at the time. Got married to somebody from Kentucky, and that's how he ended up in the whiskey world. He just really fell in love with bourbon and Kentucky and moved there and then started Rabbit Hole. He had a business as a psychoanalyst and a psychiatrist for like 20 years. So
there you go. He knows how to-
and an academic.
He tried to fix people, couldn't do it, and was like, just
Well, so I guess drinking
him
might
drunk.
be the answer.
Yeah, this might help.
I
This
can't
might
fix your
be a little
brain,
bit
just
better, yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
I always, not getting too into rabbit hole. We'll wait.
Don't go down the rabbit hole.
But, that's what I was about to say. It sounds like he went down the rabbit hole.
That's exactly it.
Which is a good thing because every time I see Rabbit Hole, I'm such a Lewis Carroll fan that, Alice in Wonderland and stuff like that. When I see it, I'm like, gosh, that's so cool. It's probably not that rabbit hole. Like it's probably just some stupid thing, And I'm like, but it would be so cool if it was like, yeah, no, this is based kind of off the idea of like Alice going down the rabbit hole kind of a
It
thing.
really sounds like it could be. I mean,
it's a little bit. I mean, it's
like
just
a psychotic kind of like.
But that's that book.
Right.
A lot of people have watched the cartoon, but if you've ever read the book, like I have many times, it's actually. And what's cool about it is like people do, like I think even normal people have some, like we're all crazy a little bit, you know what I mean? So, and you can go crazy, but that's kind of what that book is trying to show. It's like not mental illness per se, but like it is definitely people in different stages of life or different mental states at any given time. And we're all a little, and I think it even says it in there. I think if I remember right, we're all a little mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we totally are.
the Mad Hatter says that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and Alice is not exempt in that book. She's got her own freaking issues. I think she's worse off than the Mad Hatter, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, so it sounds like that he did kind of just fall down the rabbit hole of bourbon and then ended up in this.
Especially coming from the Middle East.
Exactly.
That's random.
And he's very big into like the architecture and did all that. So like I said, their distillery is a pretty architectural wonder down there also. Like it looks kind of cool.
I've been told it's a beaut. I've been told several times you got to go visit because it's just beautiful to look at. Yeah.
So we'll like I said, we'll do a deeper dive into Rabbit Hole in the future as we go. But gin in general, in terms of a spirit of the past, is something all three of us really like.
Yep. And it's still like prevalent to this day, which like a lot of things from the past, you know what I mean? It's stood up to the test of time, still being, and we're smoking pipes. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing from the past that has been holding on the way gin has. It's not super popular, but there's definitely people that are probably all about gin.
But I feel like it's making a comeback with the American gin.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the craft distilleries, as you were saying.
It's at least solidifying its foothold, and I'm not going away.
Right.
And the number of times that I'm doing like watershed tastings during the summer, we'll pull out their gin and sample their gin. And the number of people that come up and be like, "Ooh, I don't like gin. I don't want to try that." I'm like, it's free. Give it just a little bit. Just try it. Right. Just because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking of London Dry Gin, which is a distinct flavor that some people don't like.
Watershed is not.
No, Watershed is a citrus forward gin. There's very little juniper in it, and a lot of American gins have kind of done that. Or you have like Hendrix is a cucumber forward gin.
I want to see a pickle one.
A pickle gin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, right?
That does sound interesting.
I've made a couple of, like picklebacks, but I've made some with some gin. Gin? It's pretty good.
I've had gin pickles.
Yeah, that's good too.
Like pickles that were
at Journeyman. Is that where we have
Journeyman's?
them? Yeah. Oh God, those were good.
Soaked in the gin kind of thing. Yeah.
Watershed. So when I first tried Watershed, I want to say it was like 2013, something like that. It was like they were like pretty new, and they had like 2 or 3 products. Like I think they had their apple vodka. It was just vodka, but it's made with some apples. They had the 3-peel gin, and then they had their bourbon. I think that's like it. And this is before I really got into bourbon, but I was still drinking gin pretty regular to the point where I picked up the Watershed 3-peel gin first.
4-peel, yep.
Or 4-peel. Yeah. That's right. 4-peel gin first. And I remember thinking like, this is like the best gin in the world. I think I Googled it at the time. It was listed like for the world, like one of the best gins. And I was like, oh, I was right. Like even, I think there was something in England that were like, we love this stuff, And I was like, this stuff is the crud, but nobody talked about it except for the few things I found online. But I feel like, and I thought like, this is going to take off. And like you just mentioned, Watershed's been here now for how long? And people still like don't really, and again, maybe it's they don't drink gin. I don't know. But as far as gins go, the 4-peel gin is different. Yes. And it's so good. Like if you're into gins or even if you're dabbling into gins. And at the price, you can even make it into a cocktail, no problem.
For sure.
But drinking it even straight or on ice, it's got a lot of different things going on that at the time when I tried that, I had only ever tried like what you're talking about, like, dry gins or very basic, it's all the same kind of a thing. Some are better than others. You can tell some are better than others, but flavor wise,
they're quality
all the
differences, but the same flavors. Yeah.
And then to open my eyes, the gin can be different flavors like that. And then now you see all the other stuff coming. And then now obviously they've done barrel finished and whatnot, like what we're having. But like you said, Nick, I just think it is an old spirit. But it has enough still going on in innovation wise that maybe it is still evolving and changing, which is crazy for something that's been around for that long, right? Like, has wine really been evolving and changing? You know what I mean? That's been around forever too, but it hasn't really. But something like gin that's been around for a long, long, long time still can go through like fundamental changes. That's pretty interesting.
Which excites me for this bottle, right? You talk about that idea of it being an old world kind of thing. Like this is Scotch and gin are your old man's drink, right? People always thought it's the old man's drink. Have a pipe and drink Scotch, right? I don't know what you have with gin. Maybe you have pipe with gin. I don't know, a tobacco of some kind.
This is going really well.
Yeah, this is working.
This English is working great.
You think of that and you're like, oh, this is the old person's drink. Then you also think about what this specific bottle for me is finished in is rye barrels, which is a lost. It's coming back, but I feel like it's a lost spirit. Like it's one of the it's one of those like people are like starting to get back into it.
It's the wandering spirit.
Yeah, it's the one that like people are iffy about because it's a weird flavor, or it's too spicy, or it's this,
like
or
Uncle
that.
Ted.
Yeah,
we're iffy about Uncle Ted, and we only see him every now and then.
Right, but you combine those two together, and the flavor that you get out of this is like what the heck?
Meant to be together.
Yeah.
And actually, what's crazy is if you were to do this with vodka, it would taste like complete garbage.
Yeah. You can't just sit and sip vodka.
I mean, I do, but I'm weird. Okay,
without like it's not water. Right. It feels like it's water, but it's not water. Chris, it's not water.
You're like, what are you? You're drinking straight vodka. Why are you doing that? Because I like it. Like, leave me alone.
I tried to drink straight vodka one time, and it was a blueberry flavored. I think it was 3 olives maybe or Smirnoff. But I was like, I can't do just straight vodka.
I could do like something like a vodka, a flavored vodka on ice.
No, see, that's
I could maybe do that.
I don't like flavored vodka, period.
Yeah.
It's got to be just regular, just vodka. And room temperature or on ice is fine.
It would have to be cold for me.
I'm weird, I know.
Room temperature vodka.
Well, you know how I like my martinis.
I know.
Yeah. How do you like your martinis? What is your martini?
I think we've said this before, but Nick, you want to tell them how I like it?
So it's just straight vodka, right? And you just look at the vermouth.
Yeah.
Like you
just look at it.
just look at it. Yeah. And then maybe some olives. If you're feeling risky, maybe some olives.
And I'll shake it up with some ice, but I've also just poured like, because I'm lazy too. Like usually
So you like vodka in a martini glass.
that's what I do. Yeah.
Chilled.
Yes.
Maybe
Seems like my first one might be like shaken, and then like the second one, at some point
you're just lazy. You're just
pouring it into the fancy glass and I'm drinking it. I think that's when Nick was like, "What are you doing?
What are you
like,
drinking?"
I was like, "Leave me alone.
Just vodka.
Yeah, just leave me alone. I'm having a good time.
It's a cocktail because it's in a pretty glass.
It's in a glass. It's a cocktail."
No. So how do you like your gin martinis?
Oh, gin? I do like a little vermouth with my gin. And I'll tell you why, though. I think it's because not because I like gin straight, obviously, for the flavor. But when you're talking about a martini with gin, I think you're hitting on that old world idea. And for me, when I have a gin martini, the way it should be, it's like an old world drink. And what else is vermouth is very old world. And I love vermouth. I mean, there was a time that people were drinking vermouth straight, either as an aperitif or, just as a cocktail on its own or what. They wouldn't like really mix it with anything,
right.
maybe a squeeze of lime or something, or lemon. But vermouth in itself is old world. So when you mix the two together, I just feel like it's really sophisticated.
Yeah.
Like that is to me, that's a very sophisticated drink, especially in the glass it comes in. And if you do a twist of, lime or lemon or whatever, or an olive, even to me, an olive kind of is quality. It's kind of like another old world thing that, at one point was probably kind of a luxury because it's imported and whatnot else. But I think the idea of mixing vermouth and gin together is cool. So as far as the flavor goes, it tastes good too. But I'm just fine drinking vermouth on its own or gin on its own. But I do like the mixing of the two. And it does taste good. So I've definitely had as far as a 50-50. I used to have a 50-50. Remember that? Yep. 50-50 martini. You ever heard that?
I've heard of it, but I've never had one. So it's half vermouth, half for gin. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like every time I have to explain it to a bartender, they're like, "Oh, duh." You know what I mean? Because I've had that of like, well, 50-50. What are you talking about? I'm like, well, just half. I want half vermouth and half gin. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we can do that." But I do. If you've never tried it, it's good.
I don't think I've ever tried vermouth by itself.
Oh, really?
I've used vermouth in a Manhattan or in a martini, and I've had them both, and I've liked them both. But I don't think I've ever just poured a little bit of vermouth and tried it by itself. So I should do that because I should see what the flavor is by itself.
Just like we did with the port, right? I mean that way and then you have the sweet vermouth, which is very different from the dry the dry vermouth.
Mm-hmm. I have some sweet vermouth at home because I've been making Manhattans.
Yeah.
So I'll have to try that.
Yeah. You would enjoy it. I think you would like it. Again, it's more of an aperitif if you're going to drink it straight. But yeah, you should definitely try some of it, like on its own. It's always good to pull the
flavors
ingredients
apart.
out and try them individually, then put them together and try it again and be like, oh, okay, so I see how it fits in there, Or then when it doesn't fit in there, when it mixes so much that it makes different flavors, that's when it gets exciting, right? Same thing with pipes or bourbon or whatever.
I was thinking about the vapor infusion of gin and how that's done with just like essentially a tea bag floating there, and it's being hit by the vapor and sucked in or whatever else. Then if you go back to early days,
wait, so it doesn't steep in the liquid?
No, it's steeped in the vapor. It's boiling, coming up. It's mixing with the vapor in the air, and then goes through the coils and turns back to liquid.
Otherwise, it becomes too concentrated.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is insane to me.
Yeah,
like the flavor that you get off of that, like.
Yeah.
That doesn't like it's like tea. Like I should steep it.
It's
in
actually
liquid.
like more than just steeping it,
Yeah.
I feel like, because it's really kind of changing like the molecules and everything. Like it's really kind of going into its DNA in like vapor form, then becoming liquid again.
And as I'm thinking about this, I could see where you could become famous early on in these gin days by having a still that's the right size. Because if it's too big, then maybe your flavors would be weak. Yeah. Because there wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be enough like touching it or whatever. So like your the still size probably matters quite a bit, and the heat. So like if you're using wood burning or versus coal or whatever else, the temperature change could change that how quickly the vapor moves through to see how much this stuff is going to touch it.
That's a good point. A lot of variables.
Like, I feel like you could become known as a really good gin maker, as being able to do it properly early on. Whereas with something like a vodka or really even whiskey early on, it's the same still. There isn't that kind of process with it that you're making something edible and that's good enough. It's not going to kill me. It's not going to make me blind. So pass, you get it. Whereas something like this, that flavor profile could change quite a bit. And even whatever it is you put in your tea bag, in your gin bag, because that's not like official either. It's just, there has to be some juniper in it. But other than that, that's it. And so so you could have your own gin and it would be very unique to you because of that.
We've had some pretty unique gins.
We have had a lot. We've had a lot of different.
Yep. Yeah, and to be called London Dry Gin, it still has to use the vapor infusion. So all of those people that are doing it, they're using that.
Because we definitely had some gins where they dunked stuff in there and let it steep, but
it feels like it. Yeah,
but that's even after probably this vapor process.
I mean, we've had one that's no longer in production.
Speaking of
Avery's Trail.
Oh yeah,
that one was.
Is it not in production or just not in Ohio?
No, they died on.
Wow,
as a company, they're done. Yeah.
Wow, that stuff was so good and underrated. Well, clearly it didn't do well enough. It's unfortunate.
I think it tried to take off before craft distilleries really started doing gin, and people kind of caught on of like, oh, this is not London dry gin. Like,
that was another one that was starting early on with the finishing of the finished in whiskey barrels or whatever it was. They had some but they had at least one that was finished, and it was darker than the other ones. But yeah, that Avery's Trail was pretty good. And then, I mean, there's so many. I like the Botanist.
Yes, the Botanist is a good one.
It's good, There's
that's out of Scotland.
That is,
yeah.
Yeah, and what's great with gin? Just talking about gin, and again, we don't have ice if anybody's listening because we wanted to try this without, but it is good with ice. It's refreshing.
Yep.
But a little gin on ice, straight. If you've ever done this, if you haven't, you got to try it. But the salt and vinegar chips, if you like those with gin on ice, that is a treat. You ever done that?
No, but I could see like the tangy,
because the gin is so refreshing. It's such a refreshing drink. I feel like you almost feel like you're hydrating as you're drinking, right? And when you eat those chips, I love those. There's such a distinct flavor. But for one thing, you need something to drink with them. And then another thing, you get thirsty as all get out. So it's a great pairing. I've done this before. I mean, almost every time we have salt and vinegar chips, I bust out the gin. Anybody listening, want to try it? It's good.
And Amy, my wife, is a big fan of both of those things. She's a gin drinker more than anything else. Not a big fan of the whiskeys and stuff, but she likes her gins. And she likes the salt and vinegar chips. So yeah, I'll have to
try and introduce her
to that then.
She's going to be like, this is it. This is the trick. Holy cow. It's a great thing to eat with gin. Just pairs so well.
So how does this pair with your pipes?
It's very good. I think we were right in going with an English blend because in English, that Latakia and stuff, it does have a little bit of a punch to it. It's kind of a stronger tobacco, I think. It's not super strong, more kind of middle of the road to too strong, but that makes up for kind of the subtlety of gin. And so I think it works well.
Which actually makes sense too, because if you think about even the name English, the reason why they're called that is because this is the style of tobacco that they smoked so often in Europe way back in the day, in England and stuff. It's English style tobacco. That's why they call it an English blend. You know what I mean? So again, this is an old world type of smoke mixed with this gin, which is an old world spirit. So this does pair really well in that aspect. But flavor wise, I think the gin needs this. You know what I mean? It could be fine without it, but I actually don't think a light tobacco would be great with gin.
I have a hard time imagining tobacco going well with gin. And I don't know why. Maybe because in the back of my mind, I think of it as the vodka that has a little bit of fluffed upness to it kind of thing, which is, that's an understatement. That's really like killing what gin really is.
But also, I mean, tobacco goes great with vodka too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, talk about a blank canvas.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Talk about something absolutely dying for flavor. Probably one of the best things to drink when you smoke, because you can really pull out the flavors of the tobacco.
To me, I think of it more if you go farther backwards. Yeah. So to previous gin and previous tobacco, both of them are flowers. So it's just they go together. They're in fields. They're
they grow together.
Exactly. You're going all the way
at their
back.
Genetic makeup right there.
And so because gin it's kind of like a tea. And tobacco is, this is a combination.
Tobacco
it's
and
kind of a salad.
Better together. And this is like sacrilegious, but I've said it for a long time. I like a pipe with tea more than I like a pipe with coffee. I think tea and smoking go way better.
How is that sacrilege?
Well, because I just think when people think cigars or pipes, they think like coffee or whatever.
I could say cigars.
I think cigars go with coffee. And pipes go with tea.
I think pipes. I think pipes. I think England, and I think tea. Like
Earl Grey.
they drink tea.
I love tea with my pipes.
Oh yeah.
You like some mud water with your pipes,
especially in the morning.
Yes.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm more of a tea guy in the morning and a coffee guy at night. That's how we grew up. But most people are the other way around. I don't know why that is, but I like tea in the mornings more than I do coffee. Evenings, I like coffee.
So what was the Ghost of Christmas Past? I don't remember. I feel like I vaguely remember which each one was.
He went backwards. Marley. Well, and he went back and talked about his first wife, and
that's not in the cartoon, in the like TV, like the movie, right?
Which movie? There's like 70 of them.
Is that ever talked about in any of the movies?
I think it's in most of them. They go backwards and they go back to when he was a kid and he was made fun of in school and everything. And then he finds a girl. And I
never remember the girl part.
He leaves her because he wants to make money, and he spends all of his time working, and so she leaves him because of that. So that was the Christmas Past was the childhood trauma.
Was he the crippled kid?
Crippled kid is actually future, maybe, is where he gets involved, because that's the worker's kid.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay,
it's
yeah.
the worker's
talking about
kid.
Cratchit?
Yeah. Bob Cratchit's kid.
Bob Cratchit's a kid.
Little Timmy or
Jimmy or whatever it was.
So it's funny you said Cratchit. The whole time I'm thinking, again, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm thinking
Cratchit.
Cricket.
Yeah, Cricket. Jiminy Cricket. Yeah, Cratchit.
I like Cricket. That's not.
He doesn't go and see Cratchit until that's present.
Okay.
And future, because he sees what will happen with the lad. But if I'm trying to remember, Bob Marley shows up first. And then he says, you're going to have three spirits.
That's your fourth spirit, is Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Yeah. Or not, is it not Bob Marley?
I was going to say it's not Bob Marley.
It is Marley.
It is Marley, but
I think
Bob.
Marley might be his first name.
Yeah, it's not Bob.
It might be just old Marley or something.
It's something Marley. Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley.
Yeah, Jacob Marley.
There we go.
And Ebenezer Scrooge. It's all coming back to me now. But yeah, he sees him on the door. He goes inside. He says, you could be digestion or whatever. But after that, he says, you're going to be visited by three ghosts. And he's like, bah humbug. But then past comes and shows him. It's basically the ghost of memory.
Exactly. It's his childhood, the girlfriend.
Things that went right, things that went wrong, things that led him on where the path he is now and the path he's going to take later on. Then present, and then future, then death, and everything else shows up. And all sorts of things. What's interesting is when present starts to leave for future to come, that's when it gets weird, because if you read the book, present's got this big robe. He looks like Santa Claus. Yeah. He's huge, and he gets smaller. And he gets smaller and smaller or whatever. But there's these two kids that are under his robe the whole time, and I think one's hunger, and one is jealousy. I don't know. It's something weird. But these two, like, there's a boy and a girl. And they become very like Smeagol, like like Gollum, like very like creature like type. And I think that they try to reach out at some point. Or it gets very creepy. If you read the book, it gets very creepy.
Yeah,
And then
it's a ghost story.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
It's a Christmas ghost story.
it really is. It's spooky. It's spooky.
If you think about most early Christmas stuff was ghostly. Like it was very scary. We've Disney-fied Christmas. It used to be much scarier than it is now.
When you're talking about somebody who literally didn't give a crud, and then in the span of a night, like basically sells everything
into salvation.
Yeah, scared into everything. Yeah. You know what I've never seen is that movie Scrooged. You ever
the
seen
Bill
that?
Murray.
Where he's like Scrooge after, like the day after that, when he realizes like, crud, I didn't have to be like that nice. You know what I mean? I think that's what it's about. Like he's like poor. He gives everything away and he's like, oh man, I overdid it or something like that. I think that's what it's about. I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
I want to watch it.
It's Bill Murray. I mean,
it's a comedy
probably
movie,
good.
you know?
This particular gin, we haven't really talked about the flavors
We
on
haven't.
this. But it is a London dry. It has a lot of juniper in it. It's fairly Christmas tree like. It has that juniper flavor. Piney. But the rye does come through on it. It adds some sweetness to it. It kind of mellows it out a little bit.
I feel like it adds sweetness to it,
Yes.
which is really weird. The rye sitting in that rye barrel it opens up the weird fruity side to juniper that I never thought juniper could have a fruity side, but it's almost like a berry.
It is more berry like to me also.
But it's also got this like deep flavor.
Wood.
Yeah, like deep spice to it.
I can't believe that there's that much wood coming out of
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot
there
of
is
wood.
and it's
And-
adding depth to
and
it.
that it plays so well together.
Or base, I should
Like
say.
that's the weird part. Like it plays so well together, and you think like, okay, I'm basically, and this is really dumbing it down. I'm putting water in a barrel and letting it sit. That water should taste really nasty. But this somehow, everything that's involved with the gin prior.
And like you said with the juniper, well, like in my head, if I'm picturing juniper, if I'm drinking a Bombay Sapphire and I'm picturing in my head what does juniper look like, it looks more like a pine tree branch.
Yeah.
There's not really a flower or a berry on it. It's more of a branch, a root. Like that's kind of the feel I get out of it.
There was some small berries on it.
There are.
So yeah, juniper, it's
So
a berry.
In real
Yeah.
life, there are berries on it, but in this, it almost like if I'm trying to think about what a juniper might look like in this, I'm thinking of a holly bush.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I'm thinking of
There's
like
a lot more
like a
holly.
very
Yeah.
red berry.
Yeah. Smaller though. But yeah.
Yeah. I think in real life they probably look more like elderberry. They probably look like something like
that. And I
that.
think the leaves are longer and what. I've had quite a bit of juniper just on its own, flavoring wise. So when I used to get tobacco from Sweden specifically, like my pouches, the snus. So the way that they do that over there, it's steam cured tobacco put in a pouch, but they flavor it with real flavors. They don't do any artificial flavors, and they'll put like some salt and flavor, like real flavor. And there was a time that I was getting a bunch of juniper flavored. So I can't remember what the word is over there in Sweden for juniper, but I looked up what it is, and they'll do like cloudberry, and they do flavors that we don't do. But one of the ones that they did was juniper. I was like, I'm going to try that. And you stick that in your upper lip, you know what I mean, for a long time. You really get the sense of what juniper tastes like. And it is very much like gin, like pine, but clean, very refreshing. But it's not a flavor Americans use, you know what I mean? But they do in Europe, not just like Britain or whatever, like even in Sweden and what. Like it's something I'm surprised we don't use more of. Like I feel like even just the smell of those pouches, or the smell of gin, but that's, alcohol. But the smell of those pouches, at least, I don't know why people don't even hang up juniper leaves in their house, because it's very refreshing smelling. Yeah. It's a good natural smell,
For gin, it's something interesting. I've always I drink it in the summertime more than any other time. Right. But the imagery in my head of gin is very Christmassy. It is. It's very Sweden-esque. Yeah, it's very
like mistletoe.
Like it looks like it should be something that would be very good with snow.
Yeah, and sleighs and yeah.
So growing up, did you guys cut down your own Christmas tree?
We did not. I have in the past.
Did you have so you had like a real Christmas tree?
Cold pine.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at.
And I was thinking about this as you were like describing, Chris was trying to describe like juniper. I wonder if I like gin because I grew up we always cut down our own Christmas tree every year, and we had it in the house up until New Year's, and then we took it out and we burned it. Like, it was one of those things, and it was always, you had that like pine smell, but then you also had this like pine sappy smell along with it, where it was, with the wood, a little bit of sap, sticky. Like, I wonder if that's why I enjoy gin so much, is that memory of like waking up in the morning, every morning, to that smell around Christmas time.
Because it definitely does have a full house smell. Like, you can tell that you have a real Christmas tree in your house versus a fake one. And people have tried to manipulate that. They try to have fake ones, then put like the sprays or whatever. It doesn't work. It's not the same.
I've always thought about gin as a spring and summer drink, but the idea of drinking it around Christmas time is interesting to me, and I think we should normalize gin at Christmas time. This is something. This is a soapbox we should get on
for sure.
Yeah.
But you talk about putting ice on gin. Before we even started recording, I was like, anyone getting ice? Like, I prefer ice with gin.
Yeah, it's great.
But that's a spring summer. I wonder if
you wouldn't want it in the wintertime.
just buy neat. Yeah. Is great for the winter Christmas time because you get a different flavor.
Just to go outside and grab a handful of snow and throw it in there.
You got to make sure it's clean snow, though.
Well, the problem is all snow is not clean anymore because what's in the air. We used to make snow ice cream and eat it and everything else, but now it's like the air's so polluted that you really can't do that.
You could, you just shouldn't.
Well, just not often.
But the idea of that is cool, you know.
All right. Well, Christmas Pass has been finished.
It's in the past now. It's now in the past.
Spirit of the past.
It no longer is. It was.
Yeah. So we'll see you for Christmas present in the future.
Perfect.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.